the instant win, the intake engine, the onboarding call, the automation layer, the retention lock. These are the 5 phases of an onboarding system that 10x the perceived value of your high-ticket coaching offer, so you get better reviews, less churn, and a higher lifetime value per client. Within the first 60 minutes after someone pays you, you want to deliver them an instant win. Right after someone hands you $5,000, buyer's remorse is going to take over. In that gap between the payment going through and the first time they actually hear from you, they're constantly thinking about whether they made a mistake. And your job is to fill that gap with so many positive touch points that it reinforces the fact that they made the right decision. So the moment payment hits, you or your sales rep fill out what I call a trigger form. This is a simple form inside Go High Level or even Google Forms, where you enter the client's name, email, phone, address, what package they bought, and the price. One submission fires every single automation in phase 4, and that's the engine behind everything you're about to see. The trigger form instantly sends 2 things: the contract, which is your terms of service outlining what's included and what's expected on both sides, and an invoice through Stripe or Go High Level. Send an actual invoice instead of just a payment link, so your accounting is clean from day one and you're not scrambling to create invoices months later when you have to pay taxes. And if the payment doesn't go through in 24 hours, a 3-step follow-up email fires automatically. If it's still unpaid after 3 days, you get a Slack notification so someone on your team can pick up the phone and call them. Now, at the same time that that's happening, you pull out your phone and record a 60-second welcome video. You say their name, you tell them you're pumped to work with them, and you give them a quick preview of what's coming next. And you text it directly to their WhatsApp, not email, because the text gets open in seconds and it feels personal. This takes you 1 minute per client. At 10 clients a month, that's just 10 minutes of your time. But the emotional impact of a personalized video from the founder is something that no automation can replicate. Now, while you're recording that video, the automations are already building a WhatsApp group chat. Use WhatsApp Business with a separate number so your personal phone stays private, but to the client, it feels like they have your direct line. You, the client, the success manager, the assigned coach, and anyone touching this account gets added to this group chat. And your team knows the drill because the second that they're added, they respond with energy. Fire emojis, so excited to work with you, let's fucking go. Because think about this from the client's perspective. They just made a $5,000 decision or more and they're nervous. And within minutes, there's a whole team of people welcoming them and, they're genuinely fired up. And that energy kills buyer remorse faster than anything else you can do. And it also creates social pressure to follow through because it's easy to ghost one person, but it's really hard to disappear on 5 people who just introduced themselves to you. And so inside the group chat, you want to send one welcome message with 4 different pieces. First, you hype them up, you congratulate them, you reaffirm the transformation they just invested in, and you tell them to go celebrate tonight because they just made a decision most people never do. You want to anchor this purchase as something positive in their brain and not something scary. Second, you introduce every person in the chat by name and explain what each person does for the client specifically. Third, you confirm the onboarding call with the exact date and time. And fourth, you drop the onboarding link that takes them into phase 2, and you want to keep this message short enough to fit on one phone screen because anything longer is going to feel overwhelming and they won't read it. Now, if you run a community on Slack or Discord or School, your CSM should personally walk the client through joining and posting an introduction. Your existing members are trained to welcome new people immediately because that community energy is a huge mood lifter for someone who's wondering if they made the right call. And on top of that, their assigned coach should also reach out with a separate personal message welcoming them, introducing themselves and previewing what the first call together is going to cover. And that's a completely different touch point from a completely different person, and it reinforces the fact that there's a real team invested in their success. So within 60 minutes of payment, your client has a personalized video from you texted to their phone, a group chat with your full team welcoming them, a welcome message with clear next steps, a community full of people hyping them up, and a personal message from their coach. That's 5 or more positive touch points before buyer's remorse even has a window to show up. Now, all of that gets the client feeling good about the situation, but you still need that information before you can actually start coaching them, and that's exactly what phase 2 handles. Phase 2 is the intake engine, and this is what cuts your onboarding call time in half, while making you look 10 times more professional than every other coach your client has ever worked with. The trigger form in phase 1 also fires an email to the client with a link to your intake form. This is a 10 to 15 question form tailored to your specific offer. If you run an e-com coaching offer, for instance, you're asking things like, what's your current monthly revenue? What platform are you selling on? What's your best performing product right now? What have you tried before that didn't work? And what does success look like in the next 90 days? If you run an AI marketing agency offer, you're asking about the current client count, what services they're delivering, what tools they're using right now, and what they're spending most of their time on. The point is that every question on this form should directly change how you serve this person. If a question doesn't affect your coaching, cut it, because every unnecessary question is just friction, which decreases buyer satisfaction. If they don't complete the form within 24 hours, an automated email fires. Another one at 48 hours if it's still incomplete. You want this done before the onboarding call so you're not wasting 30 minutes of call time collecting basic information you could have gotten ahead of time. Now, the moment that they submit their form, the confirmation page confirms their onboarding call details. The date, the time, who they're meeting with, and this should already be locked in from the initial sales call where you close the prospect. And while all of this is happening, the most impressive piece of this entire onboarding system is being built automatically in the background: your client dashboard. Right now, most coaches send their clients a Zoom link and a Google Drive folder, with some random PDFs in it. What you're building instead is a fully branded client portal in Notion that gets auto-created for every single client through Make.com. When the trigger form is submitted, Make.com duplicates your Notion template, fills in the client's name, and then generates a unique shareable link. And after the initial setup, this takes zero effort from you. The dashboard itself has 7 sections, and each one is doing a specific job. The first is the program roadmap, every milestone within each phase and exactly where the client currently sits. People love roadmaps because it just makes the overall transformation feel tangible and trackable, instead of, you'll just get coaching calls. Second is the resource vault, and this is organized by phase. So phase 1 has its own course videos, its own done-for-you templates, its own swipe files and checklists, and then phase 2 has its own set of items. Everything that they need to take action without jumping on a call with you, it's right there, organized in the exact order that they should consume it. Third is the call recordings library, where every single one-on-one and group call coaching auto-populates after each session. And I'll show you exactly how to set the automation up in phase 4. Fourth is a progress tracker where they can see what they've completed and what's next. Fifth is the session schedule with upcoming calls and what to prepare for each one. Sixth is the rec communication links so they always know how to reach support, where the group chat is, and who to contact for what. And seventh is all their intake form answers stored in one place so both you and the client can reference them anytime. Now, the key here is that you're not revealing this entire dashboard yet. In phase 1, the welcome message only sent them the intake form link, and you're saving the full dashboard review for the onboarding call, which is the next phase. Because when you share your screen and walk them through the personalized portal with their name on it, the roadmap laid out, the resource vault stack, that's the single biggest wow moment in your entire onboarding process. And that is the moment that your client thinks this is worth way more than I paid. And that's exactly what phase 3 is built around. Phase 3 determines whether a client stays for 12 months or asks for a refund in 30 days. But before I get into it, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I just want someone to build all of this for me, you can book a call with me using the link in the description below. We only take on about 3 clients at a time because we put all our time and energy into scaling each one to 6-figure months plus. So this isn't a marketing tactic, we just don't have the capacity to take on more than that. But phase 3 is the onboarding call, and it needs to happen within the first 72 hours of payment. You book this call on the sales call before you hang up. Do not send them a calendar link afterwards and hope that they'll book, because they get distracted and you lose the momentum from everything you just built in phase 1 and 2. And this call is not for teaching. Your course material teaches. This call is purely about alignment, clarity, and confidence. The client should walk away thinking, I know exactly where I'm going, I know exactly what to do next, and I'm 100% sure that I made the right decision. You start by setting expectations in both directions. Firstly, you tell them what you're committing to. I will be on time with every check-in, I will give you clear instructions at every step, and you'll never be left guessing what to do next. And then you tell them what you expect from them. I need you to complete X tasks before our next call, I need you to communicate with me when you're stuck, and I need you to actually do the work. Most coaches skip this completely, and then 3 weeks later the client isn't showing up to calls because nobody ever established this expectation up front. And so setting this on day 1 saves you months of frustration. And then you pull up their intake form answers and review them together. You're not just reading their answers back to them, you're asking follow-up questions, digging into the context, showing them that you've already studied their situation before this call even started. If you're coaching someone with an e-com offer and they wrote that their biggest bottleneck is getting repeat customers, you're asking them, what their current email flows look like, what their average order value is, whether they've tested any loyalty programs. You're going deeper than the form, and that's what makes the client feel like you actually understand their situation. And then you share your screen and review the full client dashboard. If done right, your client will start creaming on their computer screen. You walk them through their personalized Notion portal with their name on it, the full program roadmap laid out, the resource vault stacked with everything they need organized by phase, the call recording section that will auto-populate after every session, the progress tracker showing exactly where they are and what's next. No coach they've ever worked with has done this before. And this is the moment that makes a $5,000 offer feel like $20,000. And every single client you onboard from this point onward gets the exact same experience automatically. From there, you map their first 28 goals together. There's a principle in sports psychology that says if a client doesn't see measurable progress within the first 28 days, they start looking for alternatives. So you get specific with them. What is the one result that will make this worth every penny in 28 days? And you write this goal directly into their dashboard while they're watching, so it's documented and trackable from this moment forward. Then you walk them through the full program roadmap phase by phase. For each phase, you explain what happens, what they'll learn, what deliverables they need to complete, and what outcomes they should expect by the end. And then you explain what we call phase-gated progression, which means they can't book their next one-on-one call until they've completed the action items from the current phase. This does two things. Number one, it keeps them accountable so they actually do the work between calls instead of just showing up and asking you to repeat what you said last time. And number two, it protects your time so you're not spending an hour on a call with someone who hasn't done anything since the last one. And before you end this call, book the next call live. It's the same rule as a sales call. Never let them leave without the next step locked in. And within a few hours after the onboarding call, record a 5 to 10 minute Loom video recapping everything you discussed, walking through their goals, their roadmap, and what they should do next. At the end of the Loom, ask them to reply with their key takeaways, so you know you're both on the same page. Now, everything I've shown you so far has some manual steps involved, but 90% of this system runs completely without you, and that's exactly what Phase 4 breaks down. Phase 4 is the automation layer, and this is how you do everything I just showed you for 100 to 1,000 clients at once, so you can scale to consistent 6 figures a month. So let me walk you through every automation that's running behind the scenes. The first one is your Go High Level onboarding workflow. When that previous trigger form is submitted, Go High Level automatically creates an opportunity in your pipeline, adds a new client tag to their contact record, sends the welcome email with the intake form, and if they don't complete the form within 24 hours, a reminder email fires, and another one at 48 hours. The moment the form is submitted, Go High Level removes them from the reminder sequence, tags them as intake completed, and sends an email prompting them to confirm their onboarding call time. Now, confirmation emails and SMM reminders are also sent out 24 hours before and again 1 hour before their call's booked. So from the moment they pay to the moment they show up for their onboarding call, the entire communication sequence is handled without you sending a single manual email. And the second automation is the dashboard that we talked about. And this one always impresses people. A webhook fires from Go High Level to Make.com when a trigger form is submitted. Make.com then duplicates your Notion dashboard template, fills in the client's name and package info, generates a unique shareable link, and then stores that link back in the Go High Level contact record so that any team member can access it in one click. If you don't want to set up the Make.com automation right away, you can duplicate the Notion template manually, and it takes about 5 minutes. But once you automate it, a fully branded personalized client dashboard exists within seconds of someone paying you. And that's a level of professionalism that most coaches will never reach. Third is the group chat and a welcome message. Make.com or Zapier creates the WhatsApp business group, adds your team members, and sends the welcome message template with the client's name, their onboarding call date and time, and the intake form link dynamically filled in. And you can even automate the team's responses by sharing staggered messages from each team member's WhatsApp business account through Make.com, about 30 to 60 seconds apart, so to the client it looks like your whole team is reacting in real time. Fourth is your automated check-in sequence, and this is where you catch clients before they fall off. Day 1 after payment, an email fires checking whether they have completed their intake form, with the link included again and a reminder of their onboarding call date and time. If the form still isn't done by day 1, a second reminder then fires again with more urgency. After the onboarding call happens and they've been given access to the dashboard, you then send an email 1 day after, checking whether they've logged into their dashboard with the link included. If they haven't logged in within 48 hours of their onboarding call, which you can track through Notion page views or a Go High Level tag, an escalation alert goes to you or your CSM via Slack, so someone can personally reach out and get them back on track. Now, once they're onboarded, a few days after that, you want to auto-deliver a specific resource tied to their phase 1 work, something that they can use immediately so they get a quick win. And day 7 after payment, a satisfaction survey fires automatically. A simple rate your experience from 1 to 10 question, plus 1 open-ended question asking what you could improve. And this feedback loop is how you continuously refine the entire system over time. Fifth is automated gift sending, and this one is optional, but the ROI here is massive. When the invoice paid tag gets added to their contact record, Go High Level auto sends an email to your gift supplier with the client's name and shipping address put directly from the trigger form itself. The supplier then sends a gift hamper, a branded merchandise, or whatever you've set up, and it should cost you under $100 per client. But think about it from their side. When was the last time you paid a coach $5,000 and received a physical gift in your mail a few days later? Probably never. And that's exactly why it works. The law of reciprocity kicks in, and the client feels a genuine obligation to make this partnership work because you went above and beyond before you even started coaching them. Now, the 6th automation is the one that I'm most excited about, and it's what lets you track every single client inside your program without losing sight of anyone. This is your product tracking system in Airtable. You build a student's table with fields for name, email, status, package, cash collected, revenue, and a date join field. When a client status changes from close through your post-call form or trigger form, an Airtable automation stamps today's date into that date join field. And then a formula field automatically calculates what week of the program they're currently in by comparing today's date to their join date. And so this updates every single day on its own and you never have to touch it. And you create a Kanban view grouped by their week view. And now you can see every client at a glance. So who's in week 1, who's in week 4, who's in week 12, and all of it is color coded. And you can click into any client and see their complete history, their revenue, their call recordings, everything in one place. And because the formula recalculates daily, clients automatically move from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 without you dragging anything or updating any fields. And for call recordings, you set up a simple tally form with 4 fields: client name, type of call, recording link, and date. And so after every one-on-one session, you fill out this form in 30 seconds, a Zapier automation triggers, finds the matching student record in Airtable by email, finds the Notion dashboard page by title, and then appends the recording data to both. So every call recording automatically shows up in 2 places. Number 1, the client's Airtable record where you can see it, and the Notion dashboard where they can see it. And because it appends instead of replacing it, recordings just get stacked on top of each other chronologically. So your third call with a client doesn't overwrite the first 2, it sits below them. And one quick technical note on the Zapier setup itself: when you search Notion by page title, set the exact match to no, because the page title includes additional text beyond just the email. And if exact match is on it, it's not going to find a page. It's a very small detail, but it's going to save you an hour of troubleshooting. And the last automation is internal team coordination. When a new client is onboarded, a Slack channel is auto-created for your team to discuss that client's account. Tasks are auto-assigned to the right people based on their role, and a notification goes out to everyone. New client, this package, onboarding call on this date, and so nobody on your team ever has to ask, wait, who's this new person, what did they sign up for? Because the answer is already sitting in their Slack the moment the trigger form in phase 1 is submitted. Now for your reference, these are all the tools that we're using, and they create the automations that handle the first 7 days. But the real money in coaching isn't made in the first week, it's made in month 3, month 6, month 12, and that's what phase 5 locks in. Phase 5 is the retention lock, and this is where onboarding turns into long-term revenue protection for you. Every Monday you should check in with every client. You send them 5 to 10 standardized questions depending on your offer. This takes you few minutes per client and gives you a complete picture of where everyone stands at all times. For your coaching schedule, pick 3 days a week with a 5 to 6 hour window. Run 2 to 3 group calls within those windows, about an hour each, and fill the remaining time with 30-minute one-on-one calls. And if your course material and templates are built properly, you generally do not need hour-long calls anymore because your clients are showing up prepared. They've already consumed the training, they've already used the templates, so the call itself becomes a focused check-in instead of a full teaching session. And on the days that you're not doing calls, you check your community for 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. Answer questions, send quick loom videos, and that's it. Now every 4 weeks, you do a monthly review. This can be a 15-minute call or an async loom. You review their progress against the 28 goals that you set together on the onboarding call. You looked at what worked, what didn't, and you adjust the plan for the next month. And if they're getting results, this is when you capture a testimonial. Ask them to record a quick 60-second video about their experience so far. And this is the only time you'll consistently get strong testimonials, when you're in a structured review and the wins are fresh in their minds. And every 90 days, you want to do a quarterly goal reset. New goals, new roadmap adjustments, and this is your re-enrollment opportunity. If they're on a 90-day plan, this is where you renew. If they hit their original goals, you can celebrate the win and then offer the next tier of your program and even ask for referrals. If they're not continuing, you can offboard them gracefully and still ask for a referral because hopefully they've had a great experience with your system. And throughout all of this, you're still running accountability systems inside your community. Pair up clients as accountability partners and run monthly or weekly challenges where whoever completes the most steps or posts the most wins gets a reward. Maybe an extra one-on-one call with you or a physical prize like an iPhone or MacBook. This creates culture inside your offer, and culture creates referrals, and referrals are the highest converting leads you'll ever get. Just a 5% reduction in your refund rate on a $5,000 offer with just 10 clients per month saves you $2,500 every single month, which is $30,000 a year from one system. And that's not even counting the increased retention, the upsells, the referrals, and the testimonials that come from clients who actually feel taken care of. And so this is a non-negotiable in your business. Now, this is just one of the 7 systems that we built for every Easy Info client. And if you want us to build your entire backend and scale you to consistent 100k plus months, book a call with me using the link in the description somewhere below. I'll find your exact bottleneck stopping you from scaling and give you action steps to fix it today.